chosen one. This moment is not random, and the date you see attached to this message is not coincidence. December 26 is carrying a weight that your spirit already recognizes, even if your mind is still catching up. There's an urgency wrapped in calm, a warning wrapped in love, and a divine nudge that says you were meant to hear this before the clock reaches 11:22 p.m. Not because something bad is coming, but because something irreversible is shifting. Heaven does not rush without reason. And when God urges you to watch, it is because clarity is about to replace confusion and movement is about to replace stagnation. You have been sensing it for days now, a restlessness that sleep cannot fix, a quiet pressure in your chest that feels like anticipation mixed with exhaustion. You are not tired because you are weak. You are tired because you have been carrying things you were never meant to carry alone. You have been holding questions with no immediate answers, trusting even when the evidence felt thin. God has seen every private battle, every silent prayer whispered when no one else was listening, every moment you chose faith over fear, even though fear felt louder. There is a reason distractions have been increasing lately. There is a reason delays, interruptions, and emotional triggers have been testing your patience. When God is about to speak clearly, the enemy tries to create noise. When alignment is near, confusion attempts to step in first. But tonight is about discernment. Tonight is about paying attention not with your eyes, but with your spirit. Because what God is revealing to you now will not arrive with flashing lights or dramatic announcements. It will arrive as a knowing, sudden and steady, unmistakable once it lands. You may have been questioning whether you missed your moment. You may have wondered if you waited too long, trusted too much, or gave too many chances. But hear this clearly. Nothing that is meant for you has passed you by. Delay is not denial when God is involved. Preparation often looks like waiting, and refinement often feels like loss. But what you thought was being taken from you was actually being cleared away. God was removing attachments that would have limited you in the next season. December 26 stands as a threshold. Not the end of something, but the confirmation of what has already been decided in the spiritual realm. You are not stepping into chaos, you are stepping into order. Things that felt scattered will begin to align. Conversations you were afraid to have will suddenly feel easier. Doors you stopped knocking on will open without effort, and opportunities you did not chase will find their way to you naturally. This is why God urges you to watch. Not to be afraid, but to be aware. Awareness keeps you from misinterpreting blessings as burdens. Awareness keeps you from walking past answers because they did not arrive the way you expected. What is coming will be subtle at first. A message, a realization, a shift in perspective, a release of emotional weight you have carried for far too long. And if you are not present, if you let doubt or distraction pull you away, you may overlook the very thing you prayed for. You have outgrown certain environments and your spirit knows it. Places that once felt safe now feel restrictive. Conversations that once energized you now drain you. This is not arrogance and it is not disconnection, it is elevation. When God raises your frequency, not everyone can follow. And that is okay. You are not required to shrink to make others comfortable. You are required to obey. Obedience does not always make sense in the moment. Sometimes it asks you to let go before you see what you are holding next. Sometimes it asks you to move without explaining the entire plan. That is where trust becomes real. And you have been building that trust quietly, consistently, even when it hurt. God has been watching how you respond under pressure, how you speak when disappointed, how you choose integrity when no one is watching. None of it has gone unnoticed. Before 11:22 p.m., there is a spiritual window opening for you, not a deadline meant to create anxiety, but an invitation to alignment. Numbers carry meaning and timing carries intention. This moment is about synchronization between heaven and your awareness. When you pause, when you listen, when you resist the urge to overthink, you will feel a calm confirmation settle over you. It will not shout, it will not rush, it will simply be right. You may feel prompted to let something go tonight, a habit, a connection, a belief about yourself that was formed during a painful season. If that prompting comes, do not ignore it. Release is not lost when God is guiding it. Release creates space, and space is necessary for what is next. You cannot receive with hands clenched around the past. There has been a burden on your heart related to your purpose, a sense that you are meant for more, but uncertainty about how and when. God is not withholding answers to punish you. He has been waiting for the right moment to reveal them in a way that will not overwhelm you. Timing protects the promise. And now, the timing is shifting in your favor. Pay attention to what resonates as you hear this. Truth feels different than fear. Fear creates urgency and panic. Truth creates clarity and peace, even when it challenges you. If something within you feels steady as you listen, that is your confirmation. That is your spirit. recognizing what it already knows. You are not behind, you are not forgotten, and you are not alone. The season you are entering requires strength, wisdom, and discernment, and you have been prepared in ways you do not yet fully understand. The delays, the setbacks, the quiet moments of loneliness all served a purpose. They taught you to hear God's voice above the noise. They taught you resilience. They taught you humility without weakness. Tonight is not about dramatic change on the outside. It is about alignment on the inside. Once that alignment locks in, the external changes will follow naturally. That is how divine order works. Inner shifts precede outer movement. If you feel led to be still before 11:22 p.m., honor that. If you feel led to pray, to write, to reflect, to forgive, or simply to breathe deeply and release tension, honor that. You do not need to force anything. God is not asking for effort, He is asking for attention. What you are stepping into next will require confidence. Not loud confidence, but quiet certainty. The kind that does not need validation. The kind that remains steady even when circumstances fluctuate. That confidence is being restored to you now. The parts of you that doubted your worth, your calling, your timing are being healed layer by layer. There will be people who do not understand your next moves. There will be moments when silence is your best response. Not everyone deserves access to what God is doing in you. Protection sometimes looks like privacy. Growth sometimes requires distance. Do not underestimate how much has already changed within you this month. Even if your environment looks the same, you are not the same person who entered December. You see differently, you respond differently, you trust differently. That is progress, even if it does not come with applause. God is not urging you to watch because something will go wrong if you don't. He is urging you to watch because something will go right, and He wants you to recognize it. Recognition strengthens faith. Faith strengthens obedience, and obedience unlocks the next door. As this moment unfolds, remain grounded, stay open, stay present. You are not waiting on God. God has been waiting on this moment of readiness within you. And now that it has arrived, the momentum will begin to build quietly, steadily, and purposefully. What happens next will not need to be explained. You will feel it, you will know it. And when the shift completes its first movement, you will look back and realize this was the moment everything began to align, even though on the surface it felt like just another night. And as that alignment continues to settle, you may notice how your reactions begin to change before your circumstances do. Things that once pulled you into emotional spirals no longer have the same grip. Words that once cut deeply now pass through without lodging in your spirit. This is not because you have become numb, but because you have become anchored. Anchored people are not easily shaken, and God has been anchoring you quietly through every storm you survived without applause. There is a strength rising in you that does not come from effort, but from surrender. You stopped trying to control outcomes, and in doing so, you made room for divine direction. Control kept you tense, trust is making you free, and freedom is dangerous to anything that once tried to confine you. That is why resistance increased right before this moment. Resistance often signals that a breakthrough is near, not because something is wrong, but because something is about to change permanently. You may feel an internal shift toward honesty, not just with others, but with yourself. Masks you wore for survival are no longer necessary. Pretending has become XH. Austing and authenticity has become essential. God is not asking you to be perfect, He is asking you to be real. The version of you that is emerging now is not polished, but powerful. Not loud, but grounded. Not rushed, but intentional. There are relationships you have outgrown, and you know it. Not because they are bad, but because they belong to an older version of you. Letting go does not make you disloyal. It makes you obedient to growth. You cannot build a future while clinging to what belongs to your past. God is teaching you discernment, not judgment. Discernment allows you to choose peace without needing to explain your choice. Your intuition has been sharpening lately. You sense things before they happen. You feel shifts in rooms you walk into. You notice when energy changes without anyone saying a word. This sensitivity is not weakness, it is awareness. And awareness is a gift when guided by wisdom. God is refining how you perceive so you can move with clarity instead of confusion. The path ahead will require you to trust what you sense even when it contradicts what you see. Appearances can be misleading, but spiritual insight cuts through illusion. You have learned the hard way that not everything that looks good is good for you, and not everything that feels uncomfortable is meant to harm you. Growth often stretches before it strengthens. There will be moments when you are tempted to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Resist that urge. Your life does not need constant defense. Alignment will speak for itself. Fruit always reveals the truth eventually. Stay focused on what you are building, not on who is watching, The weight you have been carrying around purpose is beginning to lift. Purpose is not meant to feel like pressure, it is meant to feel like direction. When pressure lifts, clarity arrives, and with clarity comes confidence. You do not need to know every step, you only need to know the next right one. God rarely reveals the full path at once because dependence is part of the journey. You are learning to move without rushing, to decide without panic, to wait without anxiety. This patience is not passive, it is powerful. It positions you to recognize divine timing instead of forcing premature outcomes. Things done too early often require repair later. God has been saving you from unnecessary damage by slowing you down. Your faith has matured. It is no longer built on emotion alone. It has been tested by disappointment, stretched by silence, and refined by unanswered prayers. And still you are here, still believing, still hoping, still listening. That endurance is evidence of transformation. Shallow faith fades quickly. Yours has roots. There are lessons you could only learn by walking through what you walked through. If it had been easier, you would not be who you are now. Strength was formed in the waiting. Wisdom was formed in the loss. Compassion was formed in the struggle. None of it was wasted. You may notice a new boldness in your thoughts. Ideas coming to you that once felt too big now feel possible. Visions that once intimidated you now feel achievable. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. When God expands your capacity, He also expands your vision. You are being trusted with more because you have proven faithful with less. Do not be surprised if your priorities begin to shift rapidly. What once mattered deeply may now feel insignificant, and what once felt distant may now feel urgent. This is recalibration. God is adjusting your focus so your energy is invested where it will produce fruit, not just activity. There will be moments of solitude ahead, but they will not feel lonely. Solitude becomes sacred when you understand its purpose. It is in quiet spack that clarity sharpens. It is in stillness that direction becomes undeniable. You are not being isolated, you are being refined. Your past no longer has authority over your future. The mistakes, the mischances, the wrong turns have all been redeemed into wisdom. Shame no longer belongs to you. Condemnation no longer defines you. You are allowed to move forward without dragging yesterday behind you. Pay attention to the calm that follows difficult decisions. That calm is confirmation. Chaos follows choices made from fear. Peace follows choices made from alignment. You are learning the difference, and that discernment will protect you in the days ahead. Opportunities will begin to appear that require courage, not comfort. Comfort keeps you where you are. Courage moves you where you are called to be. God will not force you, but He will invite you. And when the invitation comes, you will recognize it not by excitement alone, but by the quiet certainty underneath it. There may be moments when you feel misunderstood even while doing the right thing. That is part of leadership, even if you never sought the title. Influence often comes before recognition. Responsibility often comes before reward. Stay grounded, stay humble, stay aligned. You are being prepared to carry blessings without losing yourself. That preparation matters. Not everyone is ready to receive without becoming distracted, prideful, or overwhelmed. God is shaping your character to match what He is placing in your hands. Your voice carries weight now. Words you speak linger longer. People listen differently. Be mindful of how you speak about yourself. Honor the work God has done in you by refusing to diminish it. Humility does not require self-disrespect. There will be moments when old patterns try to resurface. Familiar fears, familiar doubts, familiar coping mechanisms. Recognize them, but do know. Re-engage. Awareness gives you the power to choose differently. You are no longer operating on survival, you are operating on purpose. Rest will become essential in this next phase. Not rest as avoidance, but rest as restoration. Burnout does not glorify faithfulness. Balance sustains longevity. God is teaching you that rest is not earned, it is commanded for your good. You may feel drawn to simplify your life. Fewer distractions, clearer boundaries, more intentional choices. Simplicity creates space for depth. Depth creates impact. Impact creates fulfillment. The peace you are cultivating now will confuse those who expect you to react the way you used to. Let them be confused. Growth does not require permission. Your calm is not indifference, it is mastery. As this momentum continues, trust will become your default response instead of suspicion. Not blind trust in people, but grounded trust in God's guidance. You will still use wisdom, you will still discern, but fear will no longer be the loudest voice in your decisions. There is a steadiness coming into your life that cannot be shaken by temporary setbacks. When challenges arise, you will respond with strategy instead of panic, with prayer instead of impulsiveness, with patience instead of frustration. Your story is not meant to end where it hurt. It is meant to continue where it healed. And that healing is unfolding now, layer by layer, moment by moment, breath by breath, reshaping how you see yourself, how you see others, and how you see what is possible. And as you remain present in this unfolding, listening more than reacting, trusting more than forcing, you will begin to sense how everything you endured is quietly rearranging itself into purpose, alignment, and forward movement, even when the path ahead is still revealing itself one step at a time, and with each step forward, even when that step feels internal rather than visible, something ancient within you is awakening. Not something new, but something familiar you once forgot how to trust. Your spirit remembers who you were before disappointment taught you caution, before betrayal taught you walls, before delay taught you doubt. That remembrance is returning now, not to make you reckless, but to make you whole. You are beginning to understand that not every battle required your reaction. Some situations were allowed to reveal truth, not to demand engagement. Silence has become one of your greatest strengths, not because you have nothing to say, but because you finally know when words are unnecessary. Peace has taught you discernment in ways noise never could. There were seasons when you felt invisible, overlooked, and underestimated. Times when you questioned whether your consistency mattered, whether your kindness was weakness, whether your patience was costing you progress. But invisibility was never abandonment. It was covering. God hid you while He shaped you. He protected you from being seen too early, from being accessed before you were ready, from being pulled into rooms that would have drained you before you could stand firmly within them. Now you are noticing how your energy has changed. You no longer chase validation. You no longer feel the need to prove what you carry. You know what you know, and that knowing sits quietly within you, unbothered by comparison. Comparison once robbed you of joy. Alignment has restored it. You are also learning that urgency does not always come from God. Some urgency is rooted in fear of missing out, fear of being left behind, fear of being forgotten. Divine timing never rushes you into anxiety. It invites you into readiness. And readiness feels calm even when the step ahead is significant. There is a refining happening in your desires. What you want is becoming clearer, simpler, purer. You are no longer asking for everything. You're asking for what is true, for what lasts, for what aligns. That shift alone has repositioned you for a different kind of fulfillment. The way you interpret obstacles is changing. You no longer see them as signs to stop, but as signals to adjust. Redirection is no longer rejection in your eyes, it is guidance. And guidance is a gift many ignore until it is too late. You are learning to listen earlier. Your emotional resilience has deepened. You still feel deeply, but you are no longer consumed by what you feel. Emotions pass through you instead of defining you. That balance allows wisdom to lead rather than impulse. It allows you to pause before responding, to choose your reactions rather than surrendering to them. There were times you wanted answers immediately, explanations that made everything make sense. But understanding too early can limit growth. Some clarity only comes after capacity expands. God has been increasing your capacity so the truth will not overwhelm you when it arrives. You are beginning to trust your no as much as your yes. Saying no no longer fills you with guilt. You understand now that boundaries are not barriers to love. They are instructions for respect. And respect begins with how you honor yourself. People may notice that you are harder to provoke, not because you are distant, but because you are secure. Security does not react to every challenge. It stands firm, observing before engaging. That composure is not accidental. It was earned through lessons that cost you comfort. Your past taught you discernment, not distrust. There is a difference. Distrust closes you off. Discernment keeps you open but aware. You are learning to love without losing yourself, to care without carrying what is not yours. As your awareness sharpens, you may feel moments of grief for who used to be. That grief is natural. Growth always involves release. Honor what you survived, but do not return to it. Gratitude looks back without longing. You are stepping into a season where integrity will matter more than popularity. Choices you make now will shape long-term outcomes. Shortcuts will tempt you, but they will no longer satisfy you. You have tasted alignment, and compromise no longer feels worth the cost. Your sense of purpose is becoming less abstract. It no longer feels like a distant idea or a future identity. It feels present, active, alive. You may not have language for it yet, but you feel its pull. That pull is guiding your decisions even when you are not consciously thinking about it. You are being taught to trust process over pressure. Pressure demands immediate results. Process builds sustainable growth. What God is building in you is meant to last, not impress temporarily. Depth takes time. Roots grow unseen before anything appears above ground. There will be moments when you feel like you are standing still while others move ahead. Do not mistake visibility for progress. Some movement is noise. Some stillness is strategy. God often does his deepest work in quiet seasons. Your heart has softened without becoming fragile. That balance is rare. It allows you to remain compassionate without being easily manipulated, wise without being cynical, open without being naive. This balance will protect you as your influence grows. You may find yourself drawn to truth more than comfort in conversations now. Superficial exchanges no longer satisfy you. You crave depth, authenticity, and meaning. This is not isolation, it is refinement of connection. Your inner dialogue is changing. You are speaking to yourself with more patience, more grace, more honesty. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others are allowed to treat you. Respect has become non-negotiable. There will be moments when fear whispers that you are doing too much, changing too much, becoming too different. That whisper is familiar, but it is no longer authoritative. Growth often feels unfamiliar because it requires leaving what was once comfortable. You are learning that not everyone needs to understand your journey. Explanation is optional when conviction is strong. Peace does not require consensus. It requires alignment. Your awareness of timing is sharpening. You are sensing when to speak and when to wait, when to act and when to observe. This sensitivity will prevent many unnecessary conflicts and guide you toward meaningful opportunities. You are beginning to trust that what is meant for you will not require you to abandon yourself to obtain it. Struggle is not proof of purpose. Ease does not mean absence of effort. It means absence of resistance. As this season unfolds, you may notice an increased desire to protect your energy. This is wisdom, not selfishness. Energy is currency. Where you spend it determines what grows in your life. You are no longer available for cycles that drain you. Patterns you once repeated unconsciously are now visible, and visibility gives you choice. Choice gives you freedom. There is a quiet authority forming in you, not control but confidence, not dominance but steadiness. People may begin to seek your perspective, your presence, your calm. Influence grows naturally when authenticity is consistent. You have learned that faith is not the absence of doubt, but the decision to move forward despite it. Courage is not fearlessness, it is alignment stronger than fear, and alignment is becoming your foundation. Your ability to adapt without losing direction has strengthened. Flexibility no longer feels like compromise, it feels like wisdom. You are learning to bend without breaking, to AD. Just without abandoning your values. You may find that gratitude is becoming more natural, not forced positivity, but genuine appreciation for growth, clarity, and peace. Gratitude grounds you in the present instead of pulling you backward or pushing you anxiously forward. There will be moments when old voices resurface in your memory, reminding you of past failures or insecurities. Those voices are echoes, not commands. You are no longer living in the room where they were formed. Your trust in the unfolding is deepening. You no longer need constant reassurance. You recognize confirmation when it appears, and you are learning to move without needing signs at every step. The more aligned you become, the simpler decisions feel. Complexity often comes from inner conflict. Clarity brings ease. Ease brings momentum. You are being shaped into someone who can hold peace in chaos, clarity in uncertainty, and compassion in strength. This balance will serve you in ways you cannot yet imagine. And as this inner transformation continues quietly, steadily, without announcement, you will find yourself moving forward with a grounded assurance that what is unfolding is intentional, guided, and purposeful, even as the next layers of the journey continue to reveal themselves in time. And now, as you stand at the edge of this moment, let everything settle. Not with urgency, not with fear, but with trust. You were guided here intentionally, prepared quietly, strengthened patiently. Nothing about your journey has been accidental, and nothing ahead is uncertain to the one who leads you. What you sensed, what shifted, what awakened within you during this message is real, and it will continue unfolding beyond tonight. You do not need to chase what is aligning itself with you. Walk forward with the calm confidence of someone who knows they are seen, supported, and guided. The timing is precise, the direction is clear, and the path will continue to open as you move. Step by step, breath by breath, fully aware that what is meant for you is already in motion.